Shalom Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that's pushing the great gospel in sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone Indianapolis camp, coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord willing be edifying. So I believe this is just like one of the bulletin points that you can click to, the world food program, whatever. So it don't necessarily have a date. So I guess it's just one of the bulletins that they make. But for the topic at hand, it reads: a global food crisis, conflict, crown. The climate crisis and rising costs have combined in 2022 to create jeopardy for up to 828 million hungry people across the world. It should you could just round up to 1 billion. So all these things right here is pretty much, like I said, combined together is creating what they call, like I said, jeopardy. It says 2022 a year of unprecedented hunger. As many as 828 million people go to bed hungry every night. The number of those facing acute food insecurity has soared from 135 million to 345 million since 2019. This number right here has risen up because I did a lesson on this. I believe it had to be like, I want to say, so like I'm trying to remember, like at least like in March, like February, March, maybe April. Ultimately I do know, I believe it was definitely in like March. And then not only that, even last year, like around the time period of I want to say like November or something like that, in October, like these numbers have been going up from the hundreds of millions and going up to, like I said, now to 345 million. It says and a total of 50 million people in 45 countries are teetering on the edge of famine, right? And this is like, people, it's 8 billion people in the world. Well, like, imagine that. Think about that. As many as 828 million people go to bed hungry every night. That's more. What's that? That's more than double the population over here in Babylon the Great, right? And that's what I'm saying, like that. That's a lot of people. They ain't no light number. It's so 50 million people in 45 countries are teetering on the edge of famine. While needs are sky high, resources have hit rock bottom. The World Food Program requires $22.2 billion US dollars to reach 152 people in 2022. Right? It say, however, with the global economy reeling from the crown, the gap between needs and funding is bigger than ever before. We are at a critical crossroads. To avert the hunger catastrophe the world is facing, everyone must step up alongside government donors, whose generous donations constitute the bulk of WFP's funding. Private sector companies can support our work through technical assistance and knowledge transfers, as well as financial contributions. High net worth individuals and ordinary citizens alike can all play a part. And youth, influencers, and celebrities can raise their voices against the injustice of global hunger. So, let's all get together, march around, whatever the hell they want you to do. Which we understand that none of that's going to work. None of that's going to avail, because why? It's prophecy that these famines are to come to pass. It says, unless the necessary resources are made available, lost lives and the reversal of hard-earned development gains will be the price to pay. And best believe you definitely going to pay that price. It say the four causes of hunger and famine. But why is the world hungrier than ever? This seismic hunger crisis has been caused by a deadly combination of 4 factors. Conflict is still the biggest driver of hunger, with 60% of the world's hungry living in areas afflicted by war and violence. Events unfolding in Ukraine are further proof of how conflict feeds hunger, forcing people out of their homes and wiping out their source of income. And not only with that conflict, there's another article I did, because they said the numbers is up to, really, they say up to 2.2 billion people are in danger of hunger. So we can just see this number keep climbing and climbing. But not only like that conflict, but even just social status, or even your ethnicity, like for example, it could be like a country like France and Somalia, or just throwing out there, they seeking aid. They could just say, France, like, no, because they don't want to help you, ethically, because of their race. That was in the previous article I did. So you can tie that into that as well. Like, they just don't want to help you. Just don't want to give you nothing. It's a climate shocks destroy lives, crops, and livelihoods, and undermine people's ability to feed themselves. Right? Because they want to claim about the climate crisis, but no, that's that the climate, the weather phenomena and all this and that come from Yahweh Shemel Shai. It says the economic consequences of crime are driving hunger to unprecedented levels, right? And don't get me wrong, like it ain't spoken about as much, but if you read these various articles, they telling you that it's gonna it's coming back around, even though you got the the monkey business going around, whatever the case may be, and all these other various plagues. The crown is still a factor. Trust and believe that. They say costs are also at an all-time high. WFP's monthly operating costs are 73.6 US $1 million above their 2019 average, a staggering 44% rise. It says the extra now spent on operating costs will have previously fed 4 million people for 1 month. So a lot of impacts going on. They got they got to get the bread line, soup lines, all this and that through finished. But hunger hotspots. So a ring of fire from the Central American dry corridor in Haiti through the Sahel, Central African Republic, South Sudan, and then eastwards to the Horn of Africa, Syria, Yemen, and all of the way to Afghanistan. There's a ring of fire stretching around the world where conflict and conflict shocks are driving millions of people to the brink of starvation. In countries like Nigeria, South Sudan, and Yemen, WFP is already faced with hard decisions, including cutting rations to be able to reach more people. This is tantamount to taking from the hungry to feed the starving. So, damn, first, you gotta take from those who are hungry. Y'all hungry, I'm hungry. You need to take this piece of bread and give it to those that are starving. So right in there, it's like it's gonna be an ongoing cycle, because now the ones who are starving, they become the ones who are hungry, and the ones who was hungry, they're gonna become the ones who are starving. So nothing's gonna be fixed. Like they keep saying that this is happening, this is why it's making it so hard. Well, hey, at the end of the day, Yahweh Shemel Shai got it set up to be that way. So all of your attempts to thwart or offset prophecy is not gonna happen. The consequences of not investing in resilience activities will reverberate across borders. If communities are not empowered to withstand the shocks and stresses they are exposed to, this could result in increased migration and possible destabilization and conflict. Recent history has shown us this. When WFP ran out of funds to feed Syrian refugees in 2015, they had no choice but to leave the camp. And then like I said, this is how you know the people is just the people who's in rulership are like they're just wicked, they unrighteous, because these people have billions and billions of dollars. So if you really cared about people, these so-called places would not run out of funds. You didn't even get the elites. They got trillions of dollars. You get what I'm saying? But that's how you know this people are wicked anyway. But again, like I said, it's all the plan designed to have Shemel Shai. It says they had no choice but to leave the camps to seek help elsewhere, causing one of the greatest refugees crisis in the recent European history. Right? So let's stop hunger now. Levels of humanitarian and development assistance must be stepped up to allow WFP to continue its life-saving work in emergencies, but also to build the ability of families and communities to feed themselves and break the dependence of humanitarian support. Well, how the hell they gonna be able to do that if they ain't got no food? They ain't got no wealth. It's easy to say we need to break their dependence. How? They ain't got shit. They get hit with famines, droughts, pestilences, all types of stuff. Locusts. What the hell are you talking about? But hey, I mean, we get it, but at the same time, kind of not, because it's, damn, you gonna always have rich. You gonna always have the rich in the world. You gonna always have poor. So it's cool, to do the best y'all can. But whatever, evidence shows. It ain't the problem of the elect. So whatever. It say, globally we build the hopeful. I build the hopeful, likewise as those who tune in. It says evidence shows that this approach pays dividends. In just 3 years to 2021, WFP and local communities turned 270,000 acres of barren fields in the Sahel region of 5 African countries into productive farmland, changing the lives of over 2.5 million people. Meanwhile, over here, you got the rich buying up all the damn farmland, and guess what? They can withhold, food, withhold this or that, or they can put funny meat, whatever the hell, impossible meat, and then you be, just eating more madness, But going on to say, in Bangladesh in 2020, WFP supported 145,000 people with cash assistance ahead of severe forecast flooding. This empowered them to buy food and medicine, protect critical assets, and transport livestock and families to safe places, preventing losses and damages. This cut the emergency response cost by over half. However, to achieve zero hunger, money is not enough. Only political will can end conflict in places like Yemen, Ethiopia, and South Sudan, and without a firm political commitment to contain global warming, here they go, and stipulated in the Paris Agreement, the main drivers of hunger will continue abated. It don't matter if you was able to stop that. Look at this. All these places got emergencies. I'm about to check on them, but majority of them like hunger, But at the end of the day, ain't nothing you can do. Let's put our heads together and let's all do this. That's not gonna happen. It's not set up for that to happen. So while it may sound good, it may sound righteous of you, it's just not gonna happen. These things, these conflicts, these rumors of wars and all these things are supposed to happen. It's all part of prophecy. Nothing you can do. You trying to stop it and offset it, meaning what? You willing to fight against your Yahweh Shemel Shai. And I'll tell you this, likewise anybody else that the truth will understand, you're going to lose. At the end of the day, actually, y'all already lost. We just waiting for everything to play out in the spirit, and through the spirit, and it's going to all manifest and happen here in the physical. So it already been, like I said, already been done, in the spirit. We just waiting for it to happen right now. It's like you have to roughly, rephrase that. So, at the end of the day, like I say, a global food crisis, right? So let's go to them. Yeah. Because why these things seem to be repetitive. Jake wants you to keep, let's go over something else, let's do this and that, because you want controversy. You want to oohs and ahs, and you want to point the finger at all this nigga, that. No, we talking about prophecy. That's why we're repeating these things, because what? We were set up to give you warning from Yahweh Shemel Shai, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. In other various books of being a watchman. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. Who are the people of Yahweh Shemel Shai? The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Speckled bird, who look like the heathens, because you're scattered amongst them due to the curses, but your seed line go back to the 12 tribes of Israel, or Jacob. Right? The words of prophecy, right? Why? We speak it before it happened. That's an example going on right here. You know what I'm saying? They telling you famines are coming. They already here. They gonna keep coming and keep coming. Right? It's gonna get worse and worse. Right? Which I will put in thy mouth, say if you have Shemel Shai. So it's the Lord putting these words in our mouth, speaking unto you. Right? It caused them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and truth, and that's why we have the scriptures. Right? Because scriptures are written aforetime for our learning, and then like I said, for they are faithful and true. Because ultimately, but Yahweh Shemel Shai is not like man that he should lie. So all things that are written, that's all being spoken through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai through his prophets, is all gonna come to pass, right? And then that's why I say in the next verse, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them or the unbelief trouble thee that speak against thee. So I don't believe that, brother. I mean, I get it, but I don't really believe that. Oh well, then that ain't gonna trouble us. Ain't gonna, man, I wish you could just get it now. We warn you, admonish you, a good amount of times, and then what? You ain't gonna get it, man. We moving on. Don't believe, Like I said, that's why you won't fear not the imagination. When you talking shit, they used to, wish I could do this to you. We can do this. We're not fearing none of that stuff. We don't care, right? Why? For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So if you don't believe, like I said, what is that to us? You ultimately what? Heap it coals to yourself. And guess what? In the day of a visitation, or even before that day, but when the Lord visits you personally and take your ass out, that's on you for not believing in Yahweh Shemel Shai. Hey, so that's on you. Right? Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Right? So it's the Lord bringing these plagues, whether he used men or what the case may be. It's all credit go back to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Yes, famine is part of the Lord's plan. It's drought, and they ain't getting enough rainfall, or the bugs, they're eating this and this and that. That's not accidents. It's not coincidental. This is all set up by design by Yahweh Shemel Shai. For you think it's all love and peace and this and that? No. He said he formed the light, he created darkness. Perfect balance. He made peace. He formed the light, created darkness, he made create peace and make evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, roughly paraphrase it. So Isaiah 45:7. So hey, believe what you want. It say, but why are these things happening? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Who is in the rulership right now? Right? Shit. Just like, Esau, Edom. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So guess what? If this man's in power, he's a wicked. What vibration, what philosophies, what doctrine, what mannerisms of life is going to be promoted? Wickedness, right? And their hopeful works were fulfilled, and the Lord is fed up with it. That's why he definitely visits this place. That these famines and all these various things, these are visitations from Yahweh Shai, because we understand that we in the end. We're in the end of the end. And Lord, what we do, what we got to do so that we be preserved from the said perils that are written aforetime to happen in this generation, right? So, I'm going to get this real quick, because this is what's coming. 2 Corinthians 15-14. Woe, or death and destruction, calamities. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. That's what's coming. So you people hoping for peace and security and comfort, damn it, that's not going to happen. Like El Yashawam always say from Dallas, y'all lose. You're going to lose. So yeah, you people are going to lose hoping for, vanity, hoping for, something. Hopefully, we'll make it through. But guess what? Now, for the elect, you don't have nothing to worry about. Yeah, Lord willing, we be able to elect again. Got to keep saying that. But Lord willing, when these things come to pass, we still, we be preserved. Because at the end of the day, these things that are coming, the famines, the pestilence, the plagues, all being arrested with death and destruction, is not slated for the elect. But it says this, Sirach chapter 40, verse 8. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast. And that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Right, so these things that are about to be written are for sinners. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation and discord. See, all these, with verse 10, these things are created for what? The wicked. And for their sakes came the flood, when the whole earth was destroyed, by water. It was for your sakes, the wicked. That was your present. That was your gift, right? But guess what? The next flood that's going to come, what's going to be what? Through those thermonuclear warheads from the nukes and the contrary laser beams to create what? That fire. That's the next flood coming. And that's why we out there, day in and day out, with the video pistols, lessons, sit-downs, whatever the case may be, go down the camp, prophesying and warning of these things that come to pass. Because this is real. Everything that the Lord has said via prophecy, then, present, and in the future, it all has came to pass. So it's best for you to, like I said, hey, like Ella Naba, his handle, GMS, get your mind right. It's better to get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? And quit worrying about all this folly, all this bullshit, all this shit that's temporal. Quit worrying about all that, or you're going to get caught up in your iniquity, in your sins. And guess what? Some of these said perils, the death, bloodshed, so forth and so on, that shit going to meet you. Right? So like I said, understand those things. Yeah, the elect gonna be go through these things, but those things are slated to happen to the wicked, right? Read down, yeah, right here, Ezekiel 5:15. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt and an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee. Why? Because in times past, this happened to us when we was in our land, when the Lord destroyed us, and famines and all this and that, this happened to us. But guess what? We don't have a kingdom right now. We not in rulership. So guess what? That was going, this is aimed towards who? Esau, but also not only Esau, Edom, but his subjects, the people that's underneath him, the ones who are subjected to them. Like I said, the 2/3 gonna catch that same hill that they gonna catch, that death and destruction that they gonna catch, right? Because why? They trying to uphold this man's system. It says, unto the nations that are round about thee, when thou shalt execute judgments in thee, and anger and fury and in fierce rebukes, I, the Lord Yahweh Shai, have spoken it. So if he did that to us, what the hell you think he gonna do to you heathens and you jakes who fall in the ways of the heathens? He did that to us, his chosen people. He don't give a damn about you heathens. Y'all gonna catch it. Cause they say he scourges y'all 1,000 times more. Like, man, that's that just I believe what's that, Wisdom of Solomon. So yeah, he scourges y'all 1,000 times more. Trust and believe that. It's verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, right? Just imagine the arrow being shot at you, just with them arrows hitting your ass. That's how the famine gonna be hitting your ass, right? Which shall be for their destruction. It ain't you. It's for you to be destroyed. It's for you to die. It ain't for you to I'm like making it over. I'm gonna make it. No. And then the ones who escape the famine and the sword shall destroy, as 2 Corinthians 16 speaks about. But yeah, these famines are sent for your destruction, in which I was sent to destroy you. And I will increase the famine upon you and will break your staff of bread. And that's where we got these, global supply disruptions, like I said, shortages and all this and that, famines, droughts, all this and that, crops not, bringing forth what they normally yield and this and that. All these things, this is the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. He's breaking the staff, or he's breaking that. The storehouse is going to be empty and all this and that. These all come from Yahweh Shemashah. Right? So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, have spoken it. So death and destruction is slated to come. That's what's coming. Evils has come. Right? It ain't gonna get better. Ain't no looking on up, and ain't none of that's gonna happen. I said this is all sent from Yahweh Shemashah. Trust and believe that. As a matter of fact, can I end with one? Yes, we got. Yes, I must be allowed to read this. Then I gotta head back in, because just came out on break for the plantation. So this is Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 9. This has to be my favorite famine scripture. It says, "They that be slain with the sword," right? So to be killed by the sword, to be killed in a violent manner, shot, killed, stabbed, whatever. The modern day sword is a gun, whatever the case may be. They that be slain with the sword are better. So it's better for you to die that way than they that be slain with hunger for you to be slain with hunger. Why? For these pine away, stricken through, like they deteriorate, they pine away, they fats is getting away, they, muscles get eaten away, everything else get eaten away, the sinews, the bone, all that shit just wither away. Because why? You're stricken through for the wants of the fruits of the field. Why? Because you need food. That's why you be stricken, and you're pining away, because you're hungry. So what's going to end up coming? Which they already have put in the news. Verse 10, "The hands of the pitiful woman, right, have sodden their own children." Go read 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 25. It speaks about, these two women made the plan to eat their child, because why? A great famine was sent to Samaria. Right? It says, and that happened to us in time past. So again, how much more is going to happen right now with the wicked in rulership and power? Right? It says, "The hands of the women have sodden or boiled or cooked their own children." Right? Cannibalism. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. And so guess what? That's what's going to come to the world in a great manner as well, in a great fashion as well. Calamities, death, lamentations, mourning, and woe are all coming to the world. And you definitely do not want to get caught up in this famine and die, as your body eat itself away, and then you become somebody else's meal, or the case may be, or you got to eat your own kids. You don't want that to happen, So, hey, it's best for you to, turn back to Yahweh Shemashah, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, and call upon him while he is near, because the doors of mercy are closing. That spiritual arc is closing, right? Just like in the times of Noah, the same thing happening right now. There's gonna be the time period where you can't get this truth. You can't seek after it. When shit hit the fan, so to speak, Jacob Trouble and all that pop off, you'll be looking for salvation, somebody to save you, and you're not gonna have it because you refuse to hearken right now. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to sincere Akwaf out there listening. Only get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes the great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.